goal, state of mind. We analyze how you play the line. Purple and yellow, we on the grind. D was the host and he's taking time. With expert opinions, we moving dominion. If passion is in you, then let's go continue. Make on it just like a stadium venue. The topics we serving up just like a menu. We in our prime, high stepping. You feel the scene like it's cold peppers. Harder like Carter, but keep it smiling. Like this was the catch number 1,000. The show you gon' love it. You better tell your mama, cousin. The internet's talking and buzzing. So pull up a chair and just grab a drink. About the Vikings, tell us what you think. Cause we in our skull state of mind. We analyze how you play the line. Everything purple and yellow. Let's take it up a level. Start the show. Yeah, it's time.
What up? Thank you for your patience. I started the show late, had some family over, get to the talking. Time just flew by, but I'm here. Let's go. So, if you looked at the thumbnail and the topic of discussion today, we're going to be going through my opinions, of course, of what I feel like is going on with the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to dive deep into the Brian Flores situation, a little bit of the playoff picture, and if anybody out there in the chat, want to come in and, get a 2 cents, just let me know, because I will put the link up there if needed. But the show is starting now. Thank you for your patience again. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about the big picture and the direction of this team going forward. And what we mean by the big picture and direction for the team is like this. First off, we're going to start off. What does the final game actually mean to the Minnesota Vikings, and does it even matter? All right. First off, the Green Bay Packers have already clinched, their ticket to the playoffs, so we can't play spoiler to them. But what are the Vikings playing for in that last game against the Green Bay Packers? First off, we got to make sure we try our best to get Justin Jefferson 1,000 yards in this last game. It's a long shot as of right now. It hasn't been easy as before, with other years. And it's crazy because I remember the year that he got hurt, when he hurt his hamstring or whatever, he still got 1,000 yards. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be tough. But it all depends on, who's playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. More than likely, it's going to be Max Brosmer. I mean, they haven't ruled out J.J. McCarthy just yet, but it is what it is. But outside of Justin Jefferson, for the final season, regular season game, getting 1,000 yards, like, I really want to see more development, right? More development is really important for me. I want to see some of the young guys on the offensive line, Juergens, Walter Rouse, those guys who in Rouse we haven't seen at all this year. But Michael Juergens, he's been up and down. He's played good, a couple of series, and he played bad. So I want to see if he can put together one strong game so the Vikings can have some kind of, definition of what they're going to do with the center position going into the season. Because as of right now, I don't think Ryan Kelly will be back for the Vikings next year. I think he probably will be going on injured reserve. He's already on injured reserve, but I think he's probably going to retire. So it is what it is with that. But other guys I want to see, on the defense side of the ball, how I feel about Dallas Turner. I want to see if he can actually keep going with, these great games and, solidify in his spot on the Minnesota Vikings going forward. Like for real. Hey, hi. Thank you for tuning in. Anybody in the chat, hi to you. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. But yeah, and another thing about the next game coming up too, it's like I want to see what Ben Urasek can actually do. I know TJ Hawkinson didn't play against the Lions, and I don't know if more people going forward are going to be deactivated and placed on IR or just not play so they can give way to the young guys, because the Vikings aren't playing for anything right now. They're just playing for respect. And I know some people out there, yes, talking about football. Yes, talking about football. Let me bring the comments right here so I can see it. There we go. And I know some people out there, feel like the Vikings shouldn't go out there and win a game because of draft situation the draft, whatever. But it is what it is. Okay. I don't think the team should lose. I don't think the team should tank. I think the team should go out there and win every game as possible. And you guys already know how I feel about the play schedule. I really don't care about it. It is what it is. But this is the question too we got to ask. Are the Vikings closer to contending or rebuilding? That's a good question. Anybody in the chat? The next game for the Vikings will be Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. I'm not sure the time as of yet. It still says TBA. It should be released sometime, but that's the next game. But let's get back to that question, though. Are the Minnesota Vikings closer to contending or rebuilding? Now, I'm just going to be honest. I think they're like right in the middle because I don't feel that the Vikings are a quarterback away. And I know some people out there, express their interest in maybe trading the farm for Joe Burrow or bringing in, another veteran quarterback, on a prove-it type deal or, something like that, a Mac Jones. But I just feel like with this team, they're in the middle of rebuild and contending. But one good season can change that. And I just think they got to fill some of these holes across this roster. When it comes to the defensive backs, the safeties and corners, I think they need more people out there, more depth in that situation. We're not sure if Harrison Smith is going to be retired. I mean, he had a hell of a game, against the Detroit Lions, but he might retire next season. So you're going to have to fill that need. I think tight end might be a need because we're not sure what's going to happen with TJ Hockenson, next year, linebacker, inside linebacker, and outside linebacker. I just think this team needs overall depth. But if they can hit in the draft and get contributors day one, I think this team can move in a direction of being contenders. And if they can kind of, get some contracts off of there and, restructure some things, they could go in that direction. So let's bring this comment up. Yes, I see this guy just said, Forrest Jones, JJ McCarthy is that dude. People can say what they want. He's going to win in this league. Yeah. That's how I feel too. Like JJ McCarthy, in my opinion, he's still young. He's only 22. This is actually his first season actually playing. I'm not ready to give up on McCarthy as of right now, but just like I stated before in other videos, I do feel that his injuries are a growing concern. Like he's not finding ways to stay healthy. And like I'm kind of stuck in the middle of the situation. And how I look at it is, am I being too patient with this whole situation? And am I overlooking what's actually happening on the field with the injuries? Or are these injuries are straight up flukes? Like the meniscus, we don't know what happened with the meniscus. We don't know if he injured it, when he was in college. We don't know what play he injured it on. Then week 2 of this season, you got the high ankle sprain that kept him out for multiple games, out like 6 weeks. And then you had the concussion for a week. So these injuries are piling up. That's the only thing I can say about McCarthy right now is he needs to stay healthy. But sometimes the health is out of your control. It really is. It really is. But let's get back to it. Any questions y'all got? Y'all more than welcome to putting it in the chat. Somebody just said, yeah. So many athletes have injuries early. That is true. The horse collar tackles against exactly. That was something that shouldn't have been flagged, and the guy shouldn't have got fined for it, but he didn't. So, yep, hand jams in the face mask against the Giants. Exactly. Some of these injuries are like straight fluke injuries, man. It's like I don't understand. Like that's why I'm not trying to say he's injury prone as of just yet. Yes, my favorite NFL team is the Vikings. It is. But that's my favorite team, the Vikings. All right. So that's how I feel about the whole contending situation. And this is another question I asked right here, right? Let me get that comment. This is another question I asked right here, okay? Did this season change the long-term vision? Somewhat. right? And what I mean by that question is everything that happened within this season, did that change my outlook on the long-term vision of this team? I think no. No, it didn't change it. But I think the Vikings should not like go out there, in the offseason and change the plan because the whole plan for the past 3 seasons was getting the salary cap back right, identifying a young quarterback, developing him, but to be the quarterback of the future and going forward with that. And that goes back to the whole Joe Burrow situation and Mac Jones situation of, if you have to go out there and get a veteran quarterback to replace McCarthy, then you're basically going away from that vision. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. You basically had multiple years where you were basically trying to do a certain thing and things didn't work the first shot you got. And now you're just going to just go, just leave it alone and start something else. I'm not buying that. I'm really not. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Not talk about that. Not bring that up. Let's not bring that one up. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That is cool. But yeah, that's just how I see it though. I'm not too down on this season initially, when they only had 4 games won, I was a little bit down, but it is what it is. Okay, here we go. Here goes something like she says, I hope not. KLC is trying to change McCarthy's mechanics in season and is insane. I love KLC, but that 5-7 yes, in the league is too high. Pressure rates, prime Brady will struggle. I agree. Now, I'm not sure how long you've been following me on this channel, but I've been stating this for the past couple of seasons, right? Kevin O'Connell's play structure and his play calling, it makes the linemen have to hold their blocks too long. And McCarthy was having to wait for receivers to get open down the field, 15, 20, 30 yards down the field. And I just feel like that wasn't the best scenario for a young quarterback. And I think Kevin O'Connell kind of played himself with that because you can see like Garrett Bradbury struggled with this offense playing center, and so did Ed Ingram. And they're both relatively like playing at a high level in their respective teams. And that would let you know that it wasn't always the lineman, it was the actual play structure. So yeah, it is, it is what it is. But I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. All right. Now, let me get to that. Oh, banners. That's what it is. Now, going forward, if we're talking about off-season situations and changes and stuff like that, we got to talk about the coaching and leadership. All right. And bring my notes up real quick. Coaching and leadership. Now, the biggest topic around is, can the Minnesota Vikings keep Brian Flores in-house at all costs? And can they prepare themselves for life after Brian Flores? Now, Brian Flores technically right now is a free agent after the season because he doesn't have a contract, on the books right now. It was reported from Pro Football Talk that the Minnesota Vikings have started to have more talks with Brian Flores about, a contract extension of sort of whatsoever. This is how I see it. I think Brian Flores might slide into the assistant coach, defensive coordinator role. Maybe Mike Pitton may be gone, and they can slide Flores there. But I think that's probably one of the only ways the Vikings can retain Flores is they have to give him a little bit more, to do with the team, like give him that assistant head coach title and give him more cachet of what he wants, on that side of the ball. And I would like that too, because that would give Kevin O'Connell somebody else to talk to and bounce ideas off. Not to say that they're not doing that right now, but it will give, him somebody like that too. And I look at it as this also, that if Flores is still there, and things don't go on with Cano, you can always make Flores the interim head coach. And another question I got, this is kind of what I said about, Brian Flores being promoted. I think that's the goal. I think that's the goal. I think that's the goal for real, for real. For real, for real. Who we got? Who we got right here in the comments? Who we got? What up, man? What up, man? How you doing? Well, how you doing, man? Hey, if you want to get on, bro, I can drop the link in the chat for you. Let me know. Let me know if you want to get on or not, and I'll drop the link for you. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, that's how I look at that, with that. So we got another comment up here. Flores gets more out of less than players in the league. The problem is the system is complex and doesn't tend to well development. It's kind of yeah. I agree with that. He gets more from a lot of players, but his whole situation is not good, for young developing players. As you've seen, how long it's actually taking Dallas Turner to basically, start producing. All right, so we might have Terrence coming in here. Paste that in here. So there you go, man. The link is in the chat. There you go. There you go. So, bring somebody up in here to talk some football real quick. You know how it go. But yeah, that's a good comment, bro. That's a real good comment. Real good. But in my opinion, though, another thing with the coaching is that I think going forward to next season, this offensive coaching staff might look a little bit different. And what I'm thinking about that is Kevin O'Connell might have to be forced to bring in somebody new with new ideas to kind of help this offense, because this offense has been stagnant for a while, and basically that last showing against Detroit was horrible. So I'm thinking maybe a new quarterback coach, maybe a new offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, running back coach. There's going to be changes. There's going to be changes going forward, for real. All right. Yeah. So another thing, when we talk about the coaching and everything like that. So let's get this one right here. And this is the question that I asked. I'm gonna wait to see if Terrence gonna get up in here and we can, have a talk about these topics going forward too. It says, let me see who that is. Skullman Sports. What up, man? How you doing, Skullman Sports? Yeah, Chris Cooper out of here, man. Okay, let me ask you a question about Chris Cooper, right? Chris Cooper is the offensive line coach. Now, considering how Blake Brando has been doing, with multiple positions on his offensive line, do you credit that to Chris Cooper, or do you just credit that to Blake Brandell? That's the question I want to ask. For real. All right. Let me see. I can't see that. Yeah. I think Skullman Sports, you're right. I think it has more to do with the defensive scheme, not the intelligence of the player. True. Oh, okay. I could not see it because it was on X. Okay, so that's what it is. Here it is right here. There we go, Skullman Sports. I had to find it, man. I had to find it for you. It says, will they resign Flores, or will they have to explore? I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job. I don't. And the reason why I don't think Brian Flores is going to get a head coaching job is I think he's going to be extremely picky on where he wants to go. One of the places I think Flores might be interested in going to, it could be the New York Giants. Would be great, considering all their young developing defensive players on that, the pass rushers. He'd be perfect for there, but I don't know who he will pair himself with as an offensive coordinator going forward. But I think he's going to be real picky on where he wants to go. I don't think he's going to go to a dumpster fire type team to where they're going to be extremely impatient of, trying to win. He wants to go somewhere where he can have multiple years to develop his scheme, fix that locker room, and basically do what he wants to do. Yeah. That's how I see it. And that was another comment he had up there, but let me there we go. Okay. He says, I credit Brandell, very athletic, for a giant. Yes. He is 6'7". I'm sure Cooper is intelligent, but he ain't it. Guys are too soft. Okay. Forrest Jones. You know what I actually think it is? I don't think that it's initially Chris Cooper's fault with the offensive line. I think it's the play structure and the play calling that's making the offensive line look bad, right? I remember during the whole offseason, everybody wanted Real Fries. Real Fries was the most touted, free agent guard coming out this offseason, and everybody wanted Real Fries. And I'm seeing Real Fries be just an average player right now. And I'm just how I look at it, I think it's a combination of things, but I don't think the play structure and play calling is helping these guys. You feel me? I think it's it's other things. It's the other things going on also. Yeah, give me some water real quick. But yeah, I don't know where Terrence is at. But anybody else got anything else? Anything else that we can vibe with real quick? Let me look at that Charger game real quick, man. Okay. Here you go, man. You say, I agree, but we've seen a lot of Cooper. Yeah. Yeah, I agree too. Like, I'm not saying he should be back. All I'm saying is that there's a lot of things going on wrong with this team. And I just can't point at one person and say, hey, that's the problem and getting rid of him is going to fix it. I think it's the whole play structure, play calling situation. And that's why I'm saying, like, Kevin O'Connell is going to have to revamp that whole offensive side of the ball next year. I think probably the only person that stays on staff is probably going to be Keenan McCardell. But that's a question now because his receivers are dropping the ball like crazy. So, I mean, it is what it is with that, Yeah. Yeah, 6-shooter. I talked about that earlier, man. Yeah, it's breaking news that they're working on something. I'm telling you, they're going to try their best to keep him in-house. I'm actually seeing them give him the assistant coach role. I think he's earned it. And I think the way defense is playing with multiple players hurt, and players just not being those top tier talented players, they're playing great in the system. You have to reward him for that. And I just feel like when it comes to Brian Flores actually going out there and looking for a head coaching job, myself, I don't think he's going to just pick any job. He's going to pick a job where he can basically develop that team, change the locker room, and do what he wants, and where he doesn't have an owner breathing down his neck asking, while we're not in the Super Bowl within the second year. That's how I see it. I think Flores is going to be smart about it. And I think by him taking the assistant coach role with the Minnesota Vikings and the Vikings moving away from Mike Pitton, it's going to work for both. It's going to work for both places, man. It's going to work. Salute you too, man. Salute you too. Here we go. We got someone else. Is anyone? Nah, not me. I'm in California. I won't be making that one. Let me shoot Terrence a text real quick and see if he gonna get on. He might be having some troubles with his shit going on. But let me see. I wonder why the comments on X are going at the top. It is what it is, though. Let me find them real quick. And let me just copy this. Hold on, y'all. There we go. So maybe he'll jump on now. I just sent it to him another way. It is what it is. Let me see. But yeah. So that's what I got for that. Let's keep it moving. Yeah. And another question I got is the Minnesota Vikings defense ahead of the offense right now? I believe so. I believe so. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got T in the building. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Boom. There we go. We got you. We got you, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. You good. You good. You good. You good. You good,
I told you I
man.
had to fix it last time, bro. I had to fix it. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I, I had to move you to a bigger device.
Okay. Welcome back to the show. But let me change this real quick. No, there we go. There we go. Cool, man. So I was just running through some topics real quick, man. I don't know if if you heard them, we can go over them with a little bit. I'll just start at the top. Let me take this comment off real quick. And I'll start back at the top real quick for you, man, because we've only got 3 up. So within this topic, I'll just ask the question to the chat. You can tell me how you feel about it. What does the final game actually mean to you? Like they got the Packers. The Packers ain't really playing for nothing because they already in the playoffs. But as for the Vikings standpoint, like what does it mean for us?
I would say what it means for us is momentum. We got that momentum going, and it'll show the doubters that we can actually have a winning record with a bad quarterback.
True.
And it just takes that little time to to develop, and hopefully his injury prone can be taken care of during the offseason. But but it's we get that win, even though I mean nothing for both teams, but we get that 9-8 record. We're still above 500, and it's a winning record. So
correct.
So it right, and it shows a lot. So I mean that's what it means for me. Is like, even though like you right, we're not playing for nothing, but at the same time, it's like we can still fight to the very end. So
yeah, I just believe like at the end of the day, like you still are playing for something. I mean, you got a lot of people out there that's just like, all right, win. I mean, don't win no games. They're more worried about like, the
draft position,
and playing against a 3rd or 4th place schedule versus whatever. Like me personally, I don't care about none of that. Like I'm not worried about that. I think about the locker room, like just like you said though, right? If you go in there and you win and you finish the season at 9-8, when we saw this team at the lowest of the lowest at a certain point, and you basically figure what you figured out, and you on a 4-game winning streak, basically, like that shows something that to me that shows that Kevin O'Connell hasn't lost the locker room yet, that players are still actually playing, even though the offense isn't contributing as much as they should. That defense, they get paid too. You got players playing for incentives. You got players, playing for all kind of other things that's outside of just winning football games. So I'll just say, fuck it, man. It's the Packers. We want to beat the Packers anyway. Right.
I mean, that's between the Packers and the Cowboys, in my opinion, those 2 were the most teams I want them to beat the most. So
yeah, I mean, we already swept the Lions. That felt good, man.
Right. That felt real good.
That felt real good.
If you think about it, we swept the Lions with JJ coming off an injury, and we swept them with Max Brosmer.
For real.
You know what I mean? So it's like that one hit the most out of everybody. So.
Yeah. We got a comment. He says being a Viking fan in Wisconsin, I feel you, man. Like just go to the win, man. But at the end of the day, when they win in this game, I'm gonna say it, and I know some people like, oh, don't be cliche. Win the game, but everybody come out healthy. That's important.
Here's my question: is we know Green Bay is going to be going to the playoffs?
Yeah.
This game don't mean nothing to them. It means a lot to us, but it don't mean nothing to them. Are they going to rest their starters?
I think it depends on draft position for them. Like not draft position. Where they going? What the standards are going to look like? They going to have to go.
Because they got the 7th seed locked up. The 7th seed is pretty much theirs. Yeah, because we gave them that 7th seed. So
yeah,
the 7th seed is locked up.
They might rest some guys. They might rest some guys. For real.
Right.
They might rest some guys. But I don't care who they rest. As long as they coming out there in the Green Bay Packers jersey, we're gonna go out there and try to beat them. I really don't care.
Right.
That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. Now with that one, let me go back. Now, this is one I kind of talked about for like in length, and I'm gonna ask you this one too. Are the Vikings closer to contending or rebuilding?
That to me depends on what they do in the offseason.
Okay, that's what I said.
Because of the fact that if they make big moves in the offseason, even though the salary cap to me is a myth, you can make some changes, you can move some people around, you can draw some people and like that. But if they make some big moves during the offseason, they could be heavy contenders.
Right. I just feel like me going forward, I know they're not a quarterback away because I want to slide away from the Joe Burrow stuff. I still believe in McCarthy. I don't like Joe Burrow like that, man.
I'm gonna say this, and when I've been seeing a lot on social media, what I've been seeing, where there's smoke, there's some fire.
I'm good on Joe Burrow, man. This is,
because if you really want to get technical with it, if you say you a JJ McCarthy believer, you're a fan of JJ McCarthy, he just need some time. What better quarterback to learn from than Joe Burrow?
But you already know if Joe Burrow coming here, he going the other way. They ain't gonna do that he going the other way. Now I'm gonna ask you this question right here. I'm gonna ask you this question because this is something that people don't like me to do. I want you to name the quarterback. What quarterback is this? First season as a starter, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Second year as a starter, 4,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Third year, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Fourth year, 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. The year after that, 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Do you know what quarterback that is?
That's active now, or that's not active?
He's active right now. I want you to name the quarterback. What quarterback is that?
It's either Baker or I want to say maybe Baker.
You proved my point. You proved my point right now, brother.
But what's the point though?
You don't know who quarterback that is. I'm gonna get to that.
It's like I said, it's either Baker or if it's either because there's a lot of them like that have done that though.
You want me to keep going? So the next year, 4,200 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. The next year, 4,200 again, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The year after that, 4,500 yards, 29 interceptions, and 14 touchdowns.
Kirk Cousins?
That's Kirk Cousins. And the reason why I'm saying that is if people don't look at the stats of actual what Kirk Cousins was, and that's why I said the Commanders first, the first 3 years. See, people banking on Burrow to come here and just playing the ball and the stats don't look good or whatever. But we did that already. We went out there and got the best quarterback in free agency at that time, and it did not work because the stats look good.
But you guys remember, but wait a minute. I'm gonna correct you on this one. Yeah, it didn't work because we didn't have a defense back then.
I can't say that because the first year he came here, 2018,
was under Mike Zimmer.
That defense was still good then. The defense didn't get back in 2020. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I've been trying to prove to a lot of people right there. If you look at the numbers, him and Joe Burrow numbers are kind of similar. Joe Burrow only made the playoffs 1 year when they went to the Super Bowl, right? But if you take that year out, he's either hurt or he's not in the playoffs. You just getting an overrated Kirk Cousins at that point.
I wouldn't say an overrated Kirk Cousins. Me personally, I like Joe Burrow. You bring that.
What has Joe Burrow done outside of the one season of going to the?
But he's been hurt though. He's been hurt.
That's another thing, right? But we already dealing with a quarterback that's hurt. We want to get another one that's hurt.
I'm gonna say this. I'm the type of person I like to deal with the devil I know instead of the devil I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't want I don't want to trade the farm for Joe Burrow.
And I don't think they'll trade the farm. I mean, let's look at the asking prices for Joe Burrow. I mean, it's going to be at least 2 number 1 draft picks regardless. And if it was me, I would say 2 number 1s, 2 thirds, and Grenard.
Okay, I'm not
because they need somebody to replace Henderson, because Henderson ain't gonna be there next year.
True. I'm telling you, I just look at this. I just look at the stats, and Joe Burrow is great. I really agree with that. But when you actually look at it, the Vikings will be doing the same thing they did, in years prior, was trying to bank on a quarterback to fix the situation, and it might not work. That's just all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's too much of a risk. I'd rather develop my guy. Straight up.
And I like that opinion, but at the same time, because you brought up when I came in, you was talking about Brian Flores. I don't think he's not going nowhere.
I don't think he's going nowhere either.
Because the fact you got to remember, he still got that lawsuit with the NFL when he was the head coach of Miami. So that's still ongoing, even though it's settled. They still left a bad taste in people's mouths as far as like, I don't want him as my head coach because he might do this here, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think that with him being at the Vikings, being in it for another year, I think that'd be great. It's gonna work. It's gonna work out for the both of them. For Flores to stay there in Minnesota, right. And for the fact that, let's just say, if Kevin O'Connell doesn't do well, now you got your defensive coordinator can step up and say, "Hey, he's an interim head coach. Let's see what we can do as far as right now."
Exactly. That's how I explained it last week on how I feel like the whole thing should go. I think Brian Flores. I think first thing they should do is, basically, we might as well go into that right now, because I think I had that. Well, forget it. We just gonna freelance. So how I looked at it was like this. I said basically I feel like the Vikings are probably going to part ways with Mike Pitton as the assistant head coach. I think that's probably right. They're going to part ways with Mike Pitton, and they're going to bring in Brian Flores. Well, promote Brian Flores from within and have him be the assistant head coach going forward. And with him getting that assistant head coach title, they're going to tell Kevin O'Connell, hey, you need to blow up your whole offensive staff because this was the worst offensive year. You need to bring in somebody, that can help you with the play calling and play structure going forward, and somebody that can help develop your young quarterback. By him doing that and Brian Flores being the assistant head coach, they're going to have to work together to bring in somebody to help this offense. And let's say they do that. They bring in a new OC, a new offensive line coach, running back coordinator, everything like that, right? And especially a quarterback coach, right? And let's say the Vikings start the first 6 games and they 1-5. You can just tell Kevin O'Connell to go, because if the locker room is not responding to him, players aren't responding to him, whatever, and you already have Brian Flores as the assistant head coach, he can just be the interim coach the rest of the year. And it's not like Brian Flores wouldn't have a relationship with the offensive guys that's new to the team, because if you're forcing Kevin O'Connell to blow up the offensive side of the ball, then Brian Flores will have input on what the offensive staff looks like. You get what I'm saying? And they would they would want to work for him because he was part of the whole process of bringing them on. That's how I see it. That's how I see it playing out, man. And it's all going to start with Brian Flores getting that assistant head coach.
And I agree with you to a whole 100% standpoint. But my thing is that since we're freelancing, it all goes back to Joe Burrow, because if you bring in that quarterback and have JJ learn behind him, bring in Joe Burrow for the rest of his deal, you already got the defense locked. Defense is set. You got Kevin O'Connell on the short leash to say, hey, like you said, move Brian Flores to the assistant coach role and let him know, hey, you're on the short leash. If this don't work out, we bring in Joe Burrow, who is your type of system quarterback. Have JJ learn behind him. And then if it does not work out, you will be replaced by your assistant head coach, will be Brian Flores.
Yeah, you put him on the hot seat.
Let's put him on the hot seat. So let's say the Vikings actually make that move to go get Joe Burrow. We say, F them picks. We trust your philosophy. We bring in a veteran quarterback who knows, like you said, who can play well in my system.
Yep.
You already got the offensive line around him. You already got the weapons around him. You putting him with his best friend. Let's all
Yep.
right, and let's see what we can do. We're
Let's-
gonna retain Brian Flores, make him assistant head coach. He can still run the defense how you want to run it, but we're gonna make him assistant head coach. You on a short lease. If you don't pan that this way, you start off with, like you said, 1-5.
Yep.
All right.
All right. There you go.
We wish you well. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Hey, go do something else.
And I brought this comment up right here. This one says, turned out Josh McCown never worked with JJ McCarthy while he was rehabbing, and the virtual was a lie too. So I don't know if you're familiar with the situation. So
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they were talking about like the situation with, the media was putting out talking about, hey, McCarthy was doing X, Y, and Z. He had the virtual headset on and he was doing this and he was doing that. But now it's going to find out that was completely lie. So this is how I look at the situation. McCarthy was basically cleared in December. We saw him on the sidelines in December. I'm not saying he was cleared to play football, but he was cleared to do some type of activity. And I think that offensive side of the ball, Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips, Josh McCown, they dropped the ball on McCarthy. And I think the only thing they really wanted to do with McCarthy this whole offseason was basically have him learn the playbook. And then when it got to the point to where, things didn't go right, then they were like, oh, we got to work on the mechanics. It's like, you can't work on the mechanics during the season. You got to work on the mechanics in the offseason. Like, y'all had a whole offseason. And that's why, if you notice, like, young quarterbacks that come to the league, they make a jump after their first year because now they got an actual full offseason. There's no draft. There's no trying out. You already have your playbook from last year. You can work on things to make you better as a better quarterback. And I just feel like this coaching staff, they really dropped the ball with McCarthy. And it just pissed me off, man, because it's like he shouldn't have looked that bad initially during this season. And when he started to play well, I didn't like the fact that it was more, we're going to dumb down the system for him to play well. Like, I didn't like the way they kind of portrayed that in the media of basically saying McCarthy couldn't handle the offense at a certain point, but kind of shifting blame from themselves.
But it's a two-way street though. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it also takes a person to be willing to be taught those kind of things too, though. And if you come in with a big head like, I'm a top 10 draft pick, I'm JJ McCarthy, I got this national hype behind me. Sometimes you got to remember he's still young. He's 22 years old.
22. Yeah, 22.
Yeah. So at 22 years old, hell, I remember when I was 22 years old, I didn't want to listen to nobody. I had to learn that. I had to learn that the hard way before I experience things in myself. So it's like that could be what's going on with him also, because every day saying it was a lie. He didn't do all the other stuff. I believe it's a two-way street, because if they offer him the help, he's like, nah, I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna rehab this on my own. I'm gonna learn this on my own. All right, we can do what we can do with you. Take it how you want to take it.
Yeah. For bring the comments up here. First off, hey, thank you as a Browns fan. Thank you for tuning into the show, man. Much appreciated. And we got somebody saying that, nah, he's just not that good. I'm not there yet. I'm really not there yet. And
I'm not there yet neither, though. I mean, he showed he can win games. I mean, this face it, he actually went into Detroit and beat the Lions, and when they was at the peak of their run, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before they also meltdown, whatever. So
exactly, and then
so
you got
he can actually do some things when he's actually focused.
Right. And then we got him saying that he blames leadership. That's what I'm saying. Then we got my boy Barber. What up, Scope for Life, Barber? Much appreciated. Yeah, I blame KLC for that. I really do. I blame KLC for that, for the dropping the ball in that situation. And I just feel like him openly admitting that throughout the media, he kind of still was kind of throwing shots or whatever. But I just think and when we talk about the Burrow situation, I don't think Kevin O'Connell should get another chance with another quarterback. When he's had three. He's had three already. He wanted Kirk to stay. They re-signed Kirk multiple years, got him the 2-year deal, whatever. Then Kirk left because he wanted more money. Sam Darnold's gone. Then now you got a young guy. You can't keep getting quarterbacks. So let me bring this one up right here. Let me bring this one right. This says, already Burrow with injury. Exactly. We're gonna trade for another injured quarterback for real. And I really think if we're comparing the two, I think Burrow is the injury prone one for real. So, but yeah, that's
I don't know about that one because it's just if you look at the circumstances as far as how Burrow got hurt this last few times, they were freak accidents. Now,
so some
granted, when you get hurt, so it's football, right? But he had turf toe because he got tackled into the ground and foot got ran into the ground. He had turf toe. Second thing, he had a legit ligament in his wrist.
yeah.
That can happen just by you writing something with a pen or a piece of paper.
Okay, now
You can tear some on your wrist.
Okay, stop right there. I'm glad you. So Burrow had an injury because somebody tackled him, and he hurt his toe. Right.
Right.
McCarthy got injured because somebody tackled him, and he hurt his ankle. The freak injury with the wrist can happen anytime. It's like the freak injury with the hand getting on the helmet. They both the same. It's the same shit.
It's the same, but I'm gonna say this with the chemistry. I would say what Burrow would have with Jefferson, it'd be a lot better than when he got there with JJ.
That's what you want, the chemistry. I believe the chemistry with McCarthy and Jefferson will eventually get there because I'm honest and I believe the situation with McCarthy and Jefferson is because Jefferson was injured preseason. He wasn't there during the preseason. He wasn't there during training camp. I think he was only there for like a week or two. That's it. He was gone. And then
but here's the thing though, Jefferson was taking him to like places like Timberwolves games and taking him around a place like that. That's how you bond their chemistry up though. Yeah, that's how because you get to know like, hey, this is what I like to do when this is on this here. This is what I like to go to. You see you talking about stuff all the time. Their lockers are right next to each other. For the whole season, how you not build that chemistry with your star receiver? You overpass him and stuff.
I don't think I'm gonna get to my point real quick. Yeah, any quarterback would have got hurt. But look, I don't necessarily think that it's all on McCarthy for not having that relationship with Jefferson. I think what's happening with this team is I think it's the play calls and the play structure. And what I explained before is there are two different things. There's calling the plays and there's the structure of the plays. I think what's happening with Jefferson is there's multiple things that these guys have to do, down the field to get these long developing routes, deep shots. I think if coming into the season, if Kevin O'Connell would have had a game plan that was more quick game, that was more short yardage or whatever, they could have built the chemistry throughout the season. But since McCarthy had to wait so long for guys to get open down the field, it hindered their development and their connection together. If you look up the all 22 or whatever, you see Justin Jefferson having to do a double move after 15 yards just to get open. You see Addison doing the same thing. So I just believe that it's not McCarthy, it's the whole situation. Let me see my boy. What up, T-Bass? I don't know if he said that or not. I don't know. But I just don't think it's like, hey, see, yeah, it's the route system, man. It's that's what I think it is. And I think like you saw McCarthy get more comfortable when there wasn't a lot of all this extra bullshit. And when I'm saying the extra bullshit, and I want people in the chat to really understand this, look at what was the first play against the Detroit Lions on Thursday?
Wasn't it a run play?
No, it was a pass play. It was a play action pass play, right? How can you call play action on the first play of the game when you haven't established the run yet? But it wasn't just a play action. It was a play action with a motion and double move. That's the extra shit. That's what I'm saying. And then what did that lead to? That led to Max Bosa getting sacked. Then they did something else again like that on the third play of the game, and he ended up the whole drive with the sack. Like, if you look at the play, there's too much going on.
I agree, and we talked about this before as far as the play calling for next year has to be better. You know what I mean? It's like I think he relied on a lot of these plays what he did a few years ago, and the fact that a lot of teams are catching on to it like real quick. They like, oh, you ran this last year at this time. Oh, you ran this here. I think what he needs to do in his whole off season is come up with all new plays, all new play structure, like you say,
Yeah.
and the fact that hey, you know, we're gonna be back to my point before. You want a short lease. Let's see what you can do as far as with this here, blah blah blah. But at the same time, it's like if you can't produce, if you're doing these same old plays, just getting your quarterback healed, and your receivers are not running at their routes enough time,
Yeah,
you got to find something else.
Though, with the play structure and stuff like that, is these plays are so like it affects the whole offense as a whole, right? And that's just what I want people to kind of like think about it differently, right? So let's just say, let's say you running something out there where you got 3 receivers, right? You got 3 receivers, you got Addison, you got Jefferson, and you got Naylor, right? They're running their respective routes down the field, right? They're running 15, 20-yard routes down the field, right? They're doing double moves to get open. Now, in actuality, if you're doing that down the field, you should have a release to the tight end or a release to the running back. Now, since your offensive line hasn't been playing well and you're asking them to block long, you have to leave somebody else in there to be an extra blocker. You're going to have the tight end chipping. So that means you're going to have the running back, trying to block too. So that means you really only have 3 routes going out there to catch passes because the running back can't release, after the chip because he has to stay in because the offensive line is giving up. And that's why we saw McCarthy get sacked a lot because that's the only play he has down the field. But when they changed the situation and they changed it from the long plays to the shorter plays, he had maybe 10, 15-yard routes down the field, and then he had stuff underneath. You have to be able to give your quarterback places to go if those long developing routes are not down there. But that's what I'm saying. It's the whole play structure situation, on there because it's like, you're asking your players to do too much at one time. And that's just after the ball is hyped. You got multiple times where he got double motions going this way, another motion going that way. Then you got guys shifting. You got your, it's just too much. And that's why this offense is so bad because it's like it's way too much going on the offense side of the ball. It's not, I won't say it's not simplified, but it's not productive at this point. It's too much.
No, it's not productive. I mean, it just like I said, to me, I agree with you 1,000% when they're trying to do too much and what a quarterback has done too little. And
he's not ready for that. And
he's not ready for it, but at the same time, it's like when you're like I said, it's a lot of pressure on him because he's a top 10 pick overall. People's already been labeling him as the face of the franchise. He's a franchise quarterback going forward. It's a lot of pressure for him to take, and he's not ready for it yet.
I don't think it's okay. So that's just McCarthy, right? You saw the same situation happen with Jaron Hall. You saw the same situation happen with.
I mean, I wouldn't say Jared Hall because Jared Hall had too much. He had too much hype behind him anyway. He was already being labeled. He was labeled as the next Mahomes coming out of BYU.
But look, though,
he
right?
wasn't like that.
But look, though. So Max Brosmer has been with this team throughout the whole offseason, right? He was undrafted. Right. He's been through here, traded camp, whatever. So why does he look bad also? Because he's asking him to do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not just McCarthy. It's every young quarterback that Kevin O'Connell gets his hands on. He asks the offense to do too much. I mean, it's different when you have a veteran quarterback because the veteran quarterback has 5+ years of defenses that they can see.
That's the reason I said go get Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow is that veteran quarterback.
No, you can't do that because it's like if you go and you go get Joe Burrow to fix this offense, that's basically giving Kevin O'Connell, free reigns to be, to just be like, all right, cool, everything's cool. All right, this is my boy T-Bass. He probably gonna come in hot. T-Bass.
No. I have a quick question for you guys.
I got a question for you too, because you be playing hooky a lot. You be on this YouTube when you're supposed to be at work.
No, I just got off work. I had to work days today. I just got home.
All right. I was about to say, I'm going to hide you on camera. I want your boss seeing you on YouTube.
No.
We supposed to be on the clock.
Nah. I'm my own boss.
All right, go ahead, T-Bag. What you got to say, man?
So, let's say Brian Flores does not get off the job. Are you still very worried about him leaving?
Say it
No.
again, because it was
No.
going off.
Let's say if Brian Flores doesn't get offered a head coaching job, are you still very worried about him leaving, taking a coordinator job with another team?
No.
No.
I think he's going to be promoted eventually to the assistant head coach. And I think with Flores, I think when it's concerning a head coaching job, I think he's going to be really meticulous of where he wants to go, to where he doesn't want to have the same situation where he had in Miami, to where he's probably going to have multiple years to kind of be a contender. And if you look at the teams that's available who's looking for a head coach, would you want to coach there?
Well, so answer me this question. Do you agree the best way for a coordinator to get promoted or get hired as a head coach is to be part of a Super Bowl team? That's like the easiest route, correct?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Most a lot of times, more times than not, correct?
Yeah.
So if Brian Flores thinks the Vikings aren't going to the Super Bowl anytime soon, he may leave for a team that has a potential that he thinks has a lot better chance of going to the Super Bowl. Because that will increase his chances of getting hired as a head coach. That's my opinion.
Or he could be jumping ship early. He could see the ship is already sinking, and he will want.
Oh yeah, but that's my biggest concern of not him getting hired as a head coach this year, but having that thought process. Okay, basically, I go to this team and we get to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, I'm going to be the hot commodity. I mean, do you really think Kevin O'Connell would have got hired as a head coach if the Rams didn't win the Super Bowl?
Hell no.
Exactly. And there's a lot of coaches like that.
Yeah.
Dave Wannstedt, but he got hired by the Bears. It was all because he was on Dallas. There's tons of coaches. That's how to get in the fast lane.
That's how fast lane anyway. If you think about it, that's how he got the Miami job, because he was a DC coordinator over there in New England, and they went to multiple Super Bowls, and then next thing you know, it's back to Miami. Like, you got a good point there.
But here's my thing. This what I also think. I think Brian Flores knows that he got a good thing in Minnesota, part with the players he has, and why would he start over with another team with the players he don't have that it's not going to follow well in that system?
Well, he might like the team that has those players now. Like I said, he can maybe go to another team and do half the job, but get to the Super Bowl because that team's offense. And then, hey, we brought this guy in and they went to the Super Bowl. We need this guy. I mean, that's kind of my biggest concern.
I feel that with Minnesota, they're going to throw everything they need at Brian Flores to say, hey, we need you to stay here. We got something planned for you. If something doesn't work out, you're the next man up.
I mean, I don't think we don't know what goes behind closed doors. I don't think money is an issue for him. He wants a chance to be head coach again.
Yeah, I think so.
He's going to go where he thinks he has the best chance.
So but why not stay at a place where you know you could be a head coach when your head coach now is on a hot seat going into next year? Because you know for a fact that the NFL is looking at Brian Flores and say, hey, look what he's doing with the defense. Maybe we can give him another chance for a head coaching job. Minnesota's going to be like, nope, he's staying right here because if something don't work out with KLC, Brian Flores is a new head coach.
We're just speculating Kevin O'Connell's on the hot seat. Owners pretty much love that.
Do you think if he has another season like he had this year, he's not going to be on the hot seat?
I think he's already on the hot seat.
I think he kind of bailed himself out the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. With these wins, but why I say I feel like he's still on the hot seat is because even though this team has won in the past couple of weeks, they didn't win because of the offense.
No. But
because of defense,
at the end of the day, he's the head coach.
Right, he gets credit for that. So,
Yep.
so let's ask this question right here. This question says, if the Ravens cut bait with Harbaugh, would that be a prime destination for Flores? In my opinion, I think that's a great question. Great question.
Well, who's the candidates out there this year? I mean, I don't follow football nearly enough like I used to. Who's the hot coaching candidate?
Brian Flores is the hottest coach.
No,
I don't think
he's not.
he's on the list now.
No, it's not.
The front
no, it's not.
Who's higher on the board than Brian Flores right now? What up,
the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars. He's been like the number one guy that everybody been talking about as far as.
And you know where he came from?
He came from Minnesota.
That was our QB coach last year.
Right.
Yeah,
but look what he's doing. But look what he's doing in Jacksonville now, though. And they said he's like the hot commodity right now to take over a lot of these few head coaching jobs.
I think Brian Flores should be ahead of him because Brian Flores has already held a coordinator position for multiple years, and he was a head coach in this league already. I just feel that he's more of a leader. Like we don't know what Dudinsky could actually do right now. He's doing good, but I need to see more of it. That, in my opinion.
Now I don't know the specific article or where I heard this, but I heard that Brian Flores isn't even on top three or four candidates list for head coach.
Yeah, I heard that too. They said he's not even on that list. He's
not even on the list.
He's not even on the list because the whole lawsuit and everything like that goes. Because the NFL, they hold grudges.
They sure do.
Yeah, the lawsuit's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's
just like Kaepernick. Right, they're just like Kaepernick. Kaepernick is a way better quarterback than Rivers, but yet Kaepernick still not getting an opportunity because NFL hold grudges.
Kaepernick is not a better quarterback than Philip Rivers. Let's stop there.
What?
He's not. He's
what?
Colin Kaepernick was a good quarterback under Harbaugh's system, and he was never nowhere better than Philip Rivers, man. I'm not going to do that.
I look at it this way: Kaepernick was a young quarterback that never got the chance. He got blackballed, so we don't know.
Yeah,
he was a young quarterback that never got the chance.
So then, in my opinion, Brian Flores is going to be the same way. He's going to be blackballed being the head coach unless they hire him within, because of the fact that NFL hold grudges.
Okay, we got somebody in here. We got somebody in here. Who we got? Ah, my boy must have ran home. What's good with you, man? What's the underneath you, Zoe? That's my boy.
My guy.
Parents, say what's up to my boy Zoe. It's my boy Zoe up there, and you already met T-Bass. So.
What up, dog?
There could be a deal struck too, where a team says, "Listen, we'll hire you as a head coach, but the league wants you to drop the lawsuit."
Hey, you know what?
Right.
Somebody had said that. I'm not sure where I heard it from, where they basically said Brian Flores might have to make a decision to just like to what you said, T-Bass, to drop the lawsuit, because how much can he actually get from this lawsuit, right? Let's say a team offers him 3 years, $15 million, whatever, right? He might be opposed to drop the lawsuit and get that guaranteed money off top, because even if he gets fired, he gonna get that money, anyway, but he will have to drop the lawsuit. So
because the owners are a good old boys club, and behind the closed door, they all get together and they all might say to the owner that's going to hire him, you get him to drop the lawsuit first.
Yeah.
Stop that lawsuit.
They might want that. But I just think at the end of the day, like when I was talking to T about it, I think Flores going to be really, really picky of where he wants to coach. He's gonna be real picky, man. If he's offered a head coaching job, if he's even get interviewed. I remember the first year with the Vikings,
like last year, he didn't get interviewed.
Yeah, he didn't get interviewed. So
and I guarantee it's gonna be the same way this year. He's not even gonna get considered for interview.
Coaches got big egos, and Coaches have big egos, and he might want to be the guy that goes somewhere and turns that organization around.
True. But like, okay, so let's say hypothetically speaking, let's say Brian Flores does leave. Let me get this off. Let's say Brian Flores does leave, right? Who replaces him?
Well, if Brian Flores leaves, what's going to piss me off is Kevin O'Connell has a built-in excuse yet again next year for not doing well. That's why I call him the Teflon coach. Nothing.
How many excuses can he have? He says
the owners like him.
He said we can't make the same mistakes that the Lions made, by letting our best coach leave. I agree with that. Like, I think
We've done it plenty of times in the past.
Hey, Tony Dungy, Mike Tomlin, how many guys? Brian Billick, Pete Carroll.
Billick and Dungy were better coaches than Green. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Tomlin, we chose Tomlin over we chose Childress over Tomlin.
Yep.
Right. And hell, we even
I
had
bet
Pete
Tomlin
Carroll
wanted to come back.
Pete Carroll, we had Buddy Ryan, we had a bunch of coaches.
So Jones said Durante Jones has been Flores understudy, and he's replaced Flores. Hey, you know what? Quick question: is Durante Jones? Did he coach the cornerbacks at LSU? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he coached them at LSU.
Yeah, so I'll be cool with Durante Jones if Flores leaves. I'll be cool with that. Like, I wouldn't have I understand like it won't be as dominant as Flores off top, but they could probably get there. And he said,
if for a fact, if he's Flores' understudy, then Flores is teaching him everything to be their defensive coordinator. So
exactly.
So I've been hearing a lot of talk also. What's your guys' say? They're saying Harrison Smith, the greatest Viking safety ever. I say that's a bunch of bullshit. All Krause.
You gonna say with Krause? Okay. So I've never seen Krause play, but how would you feel about this, T-Bass? Would you feel when Harrison Smith retires, you turn number 22 into a legacy number like the Cowboys got with 88? Would you be okay with that?
Well, you put it in the Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I don't. A guy with 81 interceptions, 3 fumble returns for touchdowns. I think over 2,000 yards, special team returns. That guy was played 16 seasons. You know, I was looking this up the other day, and I didn't know this. If you go to like the pro reference.com, yeah, they have a new thing called it's AV. I guess it's kind of like the WAR, in baseball.
Okay.
Wins above average, but this is above average or so. Harrison Smith is at 81, I think, which is a damn good number. Paul Krause is like 146. It's not even close.
Do you guys, T, let me ask you, T, do you think Harrison Smith retires this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does, yeah.
Some people out there think he's going to stay another year.
No. If he stays another year, there's a good chance he's going to get cut.
I mean, did they even say what was wrong with him when he missed a lot of?
They never said it. They never said what was wrong with him when he missed all of training camp. They never said
heard something about his mother might have been really sick. He might.
Yeah,
he's
I heard that too.
Million times
I heard
over.
That too, so. I
He might just want to ride off into the sunset.
They said that he didn't want to go to training camp.
Well, I heard his mother was sick.
Oh, yeah, okay. I heard that too. I heard a little mixture of both. As far as like his mom was sick, and he was like, "I'm a vet. I shouldn't have to go to training camp, and I got other things to worry about before I go to training camp. My mom is sick, so I was like, I gotta take care of my mom for a little bit."
Hey, that makes sense.
So already he's at a point of his career where there's other things that matter more to him. So I think he's after going through that. If it was true and his mom was sick, he might say, you know what? Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on my.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we got, because we just started freelancing a little bit. Let me see.
I mean, I don't blame the guy. He had a great career.
I got a question. I got a question for all three of you guys. So with our draft pick, say we're looking at, because I think we were 11. Let's say now, I think we're at what, 15, 16, something like that, especially if we win next week. We're like 16, 17. Who do you think will fall, or who do you want to be at that pick when we draft next season or next year?
You want my quick answer? My quick answer is I want to spend every draft pick on the offense and defensive line. All 10 picks.
All 10 picks.
Eliminate the problem for years to come. You'll have quality and depth. You don't have to worry about this shit about guys going down. You have a future replacement already for Brian O'Neill if you bring in a tackle, and just eliminate that problem. And it's something you don't have to worry about for 3-4 years.
True. I think like this, though. I think I want a dynamic running back. We're probably out of the Jeremiah Love situation so far. I like Caleb Downs. He might go higher, but it's a safety. It's a devalued position. But the lane from LSU, the corner, I just think at this point, like they can't get cute. You have to try to go best player available to fill needs on your roster. Like,
I mean, I really wanted them to pick up the kid from Rutgers last year, 7th round. I was reaching for him. Or whatever.
Could you see in a scenario where, let's just say they got like the 15th or 16th pick and they trade up to like number 11 or 12 to go get your boy from Notre Dame?
I can see that, but I don't think Kevin O'Connell would like that because he ain't gonna run the ball. I mean, you trade up for a running back like that.
Yeah, but you can do a lot more things with him other than running the ball, though, because you got Jordan Mason who's ground and pound, but you know you got him as far as can catch out the backfield. So
yeah, I'm with it. I don't, but
because to me personally, I think he'd be that Aaron Jones replacement.
Yeah,
because we all know Aaron Jones is going after this year.
So let me talk about Kevin O'Connell running the ball. Is the GM free to make that decision to fire him, or that's up to the owner?
I think it's going to be up to the owner.
It's the owner.
Yeah, because
it's the owner at this point. Yeah,
because Jim Harbaugh was his first, and the ownership squashed that.
Yeah, so we got a comment. He says, "See what you can get for O'Neal and JG." Yeah, JG. I agree with that. In a tackle, yeah. So basically, what he's saying is trade some guys. I think I'm cool with trading O'Neal moving forward, but it's going to be tough considering his contract. I think the guy that the Vikings should move is Jonathan Grenard. I think he should be the top trade bait.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I said far with the Joe Burrow. Put him with that in that package.
Nah, trade him for some draft picks and then you can figure things out. Because
you got over 10 draft picks.
I get it like this though, right? I like Grenard as a player, but I think he's in the way of Dallas Turner.
I think we owe O'Neal $16 million.
Yeah,
they owe him $16 million.
Yeah,
but I think with Grenard is the most easiest one to move. He's less expensive, and for a fact that if you put him with that Joe Burrow package, they're gonna eat that up.
What I don't want to see him. What I don't want to see them do with like Brian O'Neill is keep on kicking that can down the road.
Yeah,
and get in the same position we were in two years ago.
Yeah, I agree with that. What up, Zoe?
I'm back.
That's one of the reasons the GM was brought in here.
Yeah, to fix the salary cap.
Yeah.
What y'all know about that running back from Washington? I think his name is Jonte Coleman. I've been watching videos of him lately, and it looks like he can be a force.
He can be a force, but do you think he's a first round talent?
No, they looking at him like second round, high third round.
Okay.
So I got one more question about the defense.
Okay.
Are they number one in the league now?
Right now, yes.
No. No.
They not?
No,
Who
they're not. No.
Yeah.
They're not number one.
Are they the
actually
top three?
I think they're top 5, but they're not number 3.
What about the pass defense?
Pass defense, if I remember correctly, they had moved up to, I think, 4th or 3rd in the pass defense. Pass defense, if I remember correctly, they had.
Oh, somebody got their thing on.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I hear a lot of talk about how Isaiah Rodgers isn't that good. How the safety. What the hell is the safety's name? I can't think of his name right.
Jay Ward.
Which one, Metellus?
Josh Metellus?
No. The guy that took my spot.
Jackson.
Theo Jackson.
Yeah, Theo Jackson. I'm hearing that. Are they really that shitty? If the defense is doing this well, fourth overall pass defense or 5th top 5 in defense, are these guys really that bad? Just because we're not seeing their names called every play, that might not be a bad thing. So I mean, everybody's saying these guys are horse shit, yet they must be doing something right.
I just think though. I think when it comes to the corners and the safeties, that whole defensive back room, I think they get overshadowed and not looked at as they're just that good because Brian Flores is calling multiple, all these exotic blitzes, and they're covering. But as long as the quarterback is getting rushed, to whatever, like
they're doing their job.
They're doing their job. So that's why I think it gets overlooked.
Yeah, so I mean, I always question when people say Isaiah Rodgers isn't that good. Theo Jackson sucks. I mean, really? He's the starting safety on the 5th best defense in the league. He must not be.
Must not be too bad. Huh? I'm just saying, maybe they preparing to because Harrison Smith should retire this season, so maybe people is already preparing to try to be in the running for a safety next year or a draft pick. I just think at the end of the day, they got to get younger at these spots. They got to get younger at linebacker. They got to get younger at DB, and they got to get younger at running back.
I mean, everybody's like Theo Jackson. I never hear his name. You don't have an interception. He's never intact. Maybe in Florida's defense, his job is to be the safety and be back there to stop the big play, and he's doing exactly what he's asked to be done.
Yeah, true. Defense is Conway. Somebody said right here. Yeah, it is kind of hard to step in and play. Like you see how long it took Dallas Turner to actually start getting some footing in this defense, and now he's been a whole lot dominant. We got Barber.
He has to get the opportunity though.
Yeah, that's why.
Once
start. I think.
What do you guys think about Donovan Jackson this year's receiver?
Oh, he's been solid, man.
I think that's one of the best. I think that was one of the best picks they've done in a while.
I agree.
What about Will Fries though? What y'all think about Will Fries though?
It's time for him to go. It's time for him to go. It's time for him to go.
After one season?
At the one season, it's time for him to go. His health is more important. You got 3 concussions in one season.
Will Fries, not Kelly. Not
He's
Kelly.
Been average. He's been average.
He's been to me. I think he's been below average. He's been giving up a lot of sacks here.
You know what?
Our free agency this year was terrible.
I'm gonna say this: Will Fry has been exactly what Ed Ingram was to us the past 2 seasons. He's been exactly the same. Exactly the same. I seen Aiden Hutchinson put a spin move on him so bad. I said, "God damn, put that boy in the bitch." Like he looked bad out there. Like it looked the same shit. Like you got the same play. You overpaid for a position that you already had. Like
yeah, I mean this Detroit game, everybody's on Brosmer. He holds on to the ball too long. which he did on several plays. But there was a lot of plays where I don't give a shit who would have been in at quarterback. They didn't have time.
Hey, I said it earlier. Like, I feel like this though, and I don't really want to go back and talk about hindsight, whatever. I just believe any young quarterback that would have been drafted for this team, if it was Caleb Williams, if it was Drake May or Jaden Daniels, even Bo Nix, Michael Pinks, all them quarterbacks that were drafted, Jackson Dart, they would look exactly the same as McCarthy's because it's Kevin O'Connell's play structure and play calling. It's the same shit. Like
he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Thing like you got people out there that's like, oh, if we would have had this guy or that guy, it would have been different. I don't believe so. Like, the proof is in the pudding. We drafted Jaron Hall in the 4th round, had a whole training camp. When it was time for him to play, he couldn't do shit. It's the same shit. It's the same situation over and over again, man. And I'm not buying this shit anymore because if you look at I told T earlier today, when we first started, go back to the first play of the game against the Detroit Lions on Thursday. You had a play action pass, a guy in motion, you had a fake to the running back, which is play action, and you had double moves on the outside. That was the first goddamn play that led to a sack. That's the problem right there. You came out there with that bullshit.
I don't think the Viking fortunes are going to change. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, Kevin O'Connell, like, that's why like I'm open to the position of Brian Flores getting that assistant coaching title because he will be able to make more decisions for both sides of the ball of the team. And I think he will have more say-so, and more, I wouldn't say more control. He will have more control of the defense. But when you have that assistant head coaching title, he can go ahead and be like, Kevin O'Connell, we shouldn't do this. Because he would be the head coach, but Flores would be like right here. And he will be able to help him with different situations where we shouldn't be doing that shit, man. Like,
you think he's gonna listen to him?
He wouldn't have a choice.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a choice.
I think he would.
That's what you gotta think about it.
He wouldn't have a choice if he's the head coach and Flores is the assistant head coach, and he goes to Kevin O'Connell and says, you need to change your offense on this game, during the game. He ain't gonna listen to him. He's gonna say, I'm the offensive genius. I'm the offensive genius.
Hey,
you don't think he's been told behind closed doors yet? You need to give up calling plays? I guarantee it. Somebody's told him.
I think I can tell for a fact that he's been talked to behind closed doors because you can see how testy and how irritated he is in his press conferences, and his whole demeanor has changed. Even though this team has won 4 games, he know damn well they didn't win these 4 games because his offense was good. Everybody is talking about how good this defense is.
He's arrogant and he's never going to change. He bought into all the press clippings. I'm a genius. It doesn't take geniuses 4 years to pick up on something.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I'm saying, like, that's how I believe that he's on the hot seat. Because if you look at the owners and like the owners, they're big on Bill Parcells. Like they're New York Giants fans. Like they love Bill Parcells. Like Bill Parcells was instrumental in bringing Mike Zimmer here because he gave them the green light to say, "Hey, Zimmer's my guy. Let's bring him in here. Maybe he can help everything out." And for the most part, Mike Zimmer did. Mike Zimmer did, right?
Yeah,
so
he did.
If you look at Brian Flores is a disciple of Bill Belichick, right? And Bill Belichick is a disciple of who? Who? Y'all know. Parcells. Like, and that's why I think the ownership is going to do whatever they can to keep Flores in their building because they kind of like the whole Kevin O'Connell offensive guru shit and quarterback guru. I think it's soured because you can see what the product is. Like they not good on offense right now.
But and it's the ownership who hired Kevin O'Connell. It wasn't the GM. It was the ownership. So they know that's on them, and they're not going to give up on that.
Yeah, my boy Barber said KLC got paid. Now he's showing his ass. Yep. And that his ass gonna be out of a job soon.
I hope you guys are right, but I see them riding Kevin O'Connell for another 3 shitty years.
I don't.
Damn.
I don't. I see him. I see it going like this. I see them, and this is outside of Brian Flores or whatever. I see ownership going to Kevin O'Connell and say, look, we done spent a lot of money on the offensive side of the ball, and we're not even in projected as being one of the top offenses in this league. I don't know what the hell you gotta do, but you gotta change some shit on your offensive staff going forward because this ain't it. Because you gotta think, look at who's the highest paid on this team: Jefferson, Darisaw, O'Neal, Hawkinson, Fries. Like you. Majority of your money is on the offense, and you one of the worst offenses in the league. You can't go to ownership and say that's why I think the Joe Burrow shit is a facade, it's fake. Because you can't go to management and say, hey, I need to get another quarterback or I need to get this, when management has already given you everything you want just on the offensive side of the ball.
I personally think the GM will get fired first and be the scapegoat for all of O'Connell's inaccuracy. Because the bottom line is the GM did not hire him. The Viking inner circle did. So they got Kevin O'Connell back more than Crazy.
I don't think so. I think Kevin O'Connell
and I told you this. I told you this last time you and I talked. Quasi is not a real GM. Quasi is just a placeholder because. No, he's not a football guy. He's a numbers guy. He's not a type of GM that's like say, hey, I want this person right here. This person right here will actually make this team better. He's a numbers guy. That's the reason why the Vikings brought him in, because he's a numbers guy. He can help get them underneath their salary cap and get them where
he was brought in to fix the salary cap situation, which he did.
Yeah.
Yes, which he did. So he might be expendable now.
I don't think.
Thank you for your services.
I don't.
We wish you well in your future endeavors.
I mean, why did Ryan Poles walk away from that job?
Because Ryan Poles wanted to break the whole thing up,
Exactly. He wanted all the power, and I want to do what I want to do. And you don't let me do that, I'm walking. See you.
I don't see it that way. I think if it comes down to it, I don't see them firing Quasi and keeping Kevin O'Connell on. I see them making changes with both of them going into next season. I can see that happening to where they have to prove it, next year.
I think most fans think they're linked together. I don't think the ownership looks at that way.
I think Kevin O'Connell might show us that. I think, okay, look, this is one thing that a lot of us don't talk about. I think Kevin O'Connell's been showing his ass a lot, just like what Barber said. And the one thing that Kevin O'Connell is probably going to do this offseason is he's going to try to separate himself from McCarthy, because he doesn't think McCarthy can run his offense. But ownership has to be smart enough to look at that as bullshit, to say that now, but this is the guy that you wanted.
He's kind of doing that already, right?
Yeah, he's doing already. That's why I'm saying this. This is why I'm saying, like, it doesn't really make sense, because it's like he can't go to ownership and get another quarterback. He can't.
Yes, he can.
How?
Yes, he can.
How? Explain to me how.
Because if he can go, if he can go to ownership and say, hey, I understand y'all like this kid. I understand y'all drafted this kid to be the franchise quarterback, but for whatever reason, he's not listening to what I'm telling him, because I have 4 different quarterbacks be successful in this system, and it takes just one kid not want to listen. I need to get a different quarterback in here that will actually listen to what I gotta say. Me and you talked about this earlier. He's 22 years old.
But
we were all 22 at one point, and we never did listen to nobody when we were 22 years old.
I think that 22-year-old immaturity is a bunch of bullshit. You know how many people in the military are 22 and fucking have really, really important jobs architect in this country.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree.
I think he was a spoiled fucking kid that was raised with a silver spoon in his hand, went to academies, had a quarterback coach at age 13. Who in the hell has a quarterback, a personal quarterback coach at age 13? And he's immature, but it's not because he's age 22. It's just he's immature.
All right, look, I don't think it's immaturity. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's none of that. And T, what you said, I feel like he can't go to management with that shit because every time something goes wrong, Kevin O'Connell gets what he wants. Last year, the first thing Kevin O'Connell did after the Rams lost in the playoffs was he said he needed the interior offensive line needs to get better, and they gave him that. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah gave him a bruising running back that was going to succeed in short yardage, but then he decided not to run the ball. They re-signed Josh Oliver, who's one of the best blocking tight ends in the game. They re-signed Aaron Jones, right? There comes a time where you can't keep going to management saying you want X, Y, and Z, and then on the field, you're not producing. But then you got Brian Flores on the other side of the ball to where he's not getting everything he needs. He's getting certain guys here, certain guys there, but he still has a scheme that's conducive to being successful. Now, you said, oh, he has 4 quarterbacks that was successful in to me, how I look at it, they might have had good yards. They might have made the playoff. But when you got to the playoff and you had to win against a playoff team, they lost. They lost.
Right. So call me nuts or whatever, and I'm way off base. But what I would like to see him do is be calling up the Baltimore Ravens and saying, hey, what's it going to quarterback, Cooper Rush, who has a year of starting experience, Cowboys last year, and I think some pretty good young talent, and bring him in there and have an honest quarterback competition.
AJ McCarthy. Cooper Rush. They could have had Cooper Rush this offseason.
Yeah, but they were all in on McCarthy.
Cooper Rush is not it, though. Yeah, they went all in on McCarthy, and we all seen McCarthy play. When he's a healthy guy, he's a good quarterback when he's healthy.
You see, but what I'm not getting is, right? Cooper Rush was available as a backup to all 32 teams, and it wasn't like he was signed on the first day of free agency.
No. And things are changed. I just want to bring somebody in like that and have an honest quarterback and sit JJ McCarthy down and say your draft status, where you were picked. We don't care what the fans say. We're going to have a quarterback competition, and the best player is going to start. Period.
So let me ask both of y'all this. So y'all putting it all on McCarthy and not O'Connell?
No.
No.
They both.
Me personally, I'm putting on the offensive line. I'm putting on Beaver on the offensive line because the offensive line was shitty this year.
I've seen some good things out of McCarthy. I've seen some good things from McCarthy. I've seen some really horrible things from McCarthy.
Let me ask you about the offensive line, right? So the offensive line is shitty, right? And this is Kevin O'Connell's 4th year. Offensive line is shitty. Offensive line has been shitty the whole tenure with Kevin O'Connell. It's been the same damn problems. So how can
That's why I said draft trenches and eliminate the problem.
It's not the players. It's the play structure.
It's the coaching. It's the play structure and it's the coaching.
So you have to put that on Kevin O'Connell because he's in charge of that. There's no reason why you got Ed Ingram performing to highest expectations right now in Houston, and Garrett Bradbury is performing just as well and starting every game this season with the New England Patriots. But these are guys that a lot of y'all felt were no good on this team because we need to get better talent. It's not the talent, it's the play calling and the
coaching. To me, it's the coaching. Whoever the offensive line these coaches, they need to go because the offensive line coach is not doing their job.
What I'm saying is though, like we can't keep saying, the offensive line is bad. No, offensive line might be good, but we can never see it if Kevin O'Connell wouldn't change his shit, then the offensive line will actually be better at what we already have. So we got to start with the offensive line.
I guess you guys missed my point. The main thing about McCarthy is I don't want to see them baby him and hand him the job just because he was the number one or first pick for the Vikings, blah, blah, blah. Competition breeds success. And if you have nobody pushing that kid, I don't think he gets better.
I think McCarthy's not the problem. I just think they dropped the ball on McCarthy horribly. And now
I'm not saying he's the problem. I'm just saying I don't want to see them baby him. They bring somebody in to push him.
Right.
Competition breeds success. If you're just going to go into camp and know I'm getting handed the number one starter job every year, he may not progress as much fast or as well as if you have someone there pushing him.
I think you got to get him the better coaches. That's going to be there for him throughout the offense too.
And I say this part from my end, from my perspective. I played offense and I played defensive lineman in high school. Played a little bit in college. If you don't beat the man in front of you, if you don't do your job, you're getting replaced. It's that simple. I don't care if you have a 5-star recruit or you getting paid all this big money to do a job and you're not doing the job, something's not right then.
That's not the case for McCarthy this year. That's not the case.
Well, McCarthy is one thing. McCarthy is one thing. I'm saying as far as from an offensive line perspective. If you're not doing your job as far as blocking the man in front of you, if your job is to make sure that guy don't touch my quarterback and you're failing at that job and my quarterback is constantly on his ass and looking at my lineman like, hey, what's going on? That means I'm not doing my job. That means I need to be sitting my ass on the bench.
Yeah, but that's somebody else's. Yeah, but that comes down to play calling, though.
That comes down to the coaching.
Yeah,
because because the head coach is one thing. It's the offensive line coach actually put the players in those kind of positions. So with the offensive line coach, you say, hey, if we're paying you so much money to do a job and you're not doing your find I need to get you out of here and find somebody else that will do their job. I don't care how much the team is paying you. If you're not doing your job, go sit your ass down. I got this rookie right here that's want to actually say want to prove himself. All right, let's see what you can do. Don't let this motherfucker touch my quarterback.
Because I highly doubt there's an NFL player that wants to get cut, and then the word out on the street is he's lazy. He's not performing. He's lazy. Nobody wants to pick him up. But in the days now with guaranteed money and stuff, Hargrave and Allen, we're basically stuck with them, right?
Nah, you can move them.
One of them we owe all the money.
You can move them.
Is it? I don't think nobody's going to take no big contract.
Well, if you cut them,
if you cut them, they can they can choose wherever they want to go.
I heard one of the guys. I think Hargrave. I heard they cut him. They saved $6 million out of the $10 million, and the other guy is all guaranteed money. You don't save shit if you cut.
Yeah, but they're
basically stuck with them.
Hold on, real quick, y'all. I'm trying to bring up something. Let me move my screen real quick. Go and say something, Zoe. You ain't been quiet all night.
Well, I ain't got shit to say. I'm just listening to y'all vent.
let me bring this up real quick. I'm just trying to find it because I want to show y'all what the problem is. I really do.
So the problem, that's easy.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
What do you think the problem is, though?
Huh?
I was gonna ask you, what do you think the problem is? You think the problem is the coaching? You think the problem is the GM? You think it's the problem with the players? Like, what do you think the problem is?
The Vikings right now have a KOC problem.
For real. KOC.
Hey guys.
Why do you?
I gotta run, guys. Why do you think he's a everybody had? Hey guys, I gotta run, but I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas with your family.
You too, sir.
All right, T-Bag.
Talk to you later.
So let me ask you this: why do you think KLC is a problem?
The KLC been here for 4 years with 1 playoff title, no playoff wins. In 4 years, KLC ain't did nothing for the Minnesota Vikings. KLC sold the Vikings the dream and they bought it. He told the Vikings he can identify us a young quarterback and he can develop that young quarterback. As we clearly can see, KLC can't develop a motherfucking thing on offense. The play calling is horrible. The offense been trash since he been here for real.
Yeah.
And we go.
I agree. I agree and I disagree. Because I agree with you when you say that he gave us these false dreams and said, yeah, I can turn this whole organization around. I mean, if you look at his record from a win-loss perspective, yeah. But I would say the few things that we've been missing over the last, let's say, 10 years is an established quarterback. You know, when we brought in Kirk Cousins, everybody was like, oh, you know, that year before he came, we went to the NFC Championship game, 2017. That was the year Kevin O'Connell was there. First year he was there, we went to the NFC Championship game.
No, we didn't.
Next year?
Nah.
2017?
I just said KLC ain't win no playoff games.
No, he ain't won no playoff games. We ain't go to
Nah, you're right. It wasn't him. But the thing is that the fact that 2017 we went to the NFC Championship game, didn't go to the Super Bowl. We came back the next year. They said, "Oh, you guys are quarterback away." What we do? We go get Kirk Cousins. They're like, "Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to be y'all quarterback. Y'all need quarterback." He ain't won 1 playoff game. KLC.
Kirk got 1 playoff game. Kirk got 1 playoff win.
No, he got 2.
Kirk got. That's what I'm saying. Well, he got 2. Yeah, he got 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, he got 2. I think. All right, look, I'm gonna bring this up for y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me pause this real quick. I want to show y'all this one. Y'all keep talking. I'm trying my hardest to bring this up. There we go. Now I got it. Let me see. Let me bring this up. I'm finna show y'all the problem with one play. Where the hell is this shit? Oh, share screen. There we go. Tripping. Should come up now. Boom. All right, look. This is the first play of the game against Detroit. Let me get that comment off so y'all can see. Y'all can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
First play of the game against Detroit. All right. Y'all watching?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See that shit? That's the kickoff. I don't know why it's dark like that.
I can still see.
Look at that shit. Where the routes at? Where are the routes? Let's rewind it back again. That's the problem. Look at that shit. Look, play action, motion. This guy ain't got no route. Everything else down the field. He can't get this guy because he double covered. That's the problem. And that was the first play of the game. Let's look at it again. Let's look at it one more time. Look. Where are you supposed to go with this ball? Where are you supposed to go? Look, you got a route right here. He's covered. A route right there, he's covered. Nothing on this side. No check down. Where the running back at? Where the tight end at? That's the problem.
Tight end is covered and running back is covered.
Everything's covered. But look, this guy down the field. I think that's probably Jefferson.
That's Jefferson.
So let's keep it rolling. That was the first play of the game. That led to a sack. This is the second play of the game. They might show it again. Yeah, they're gonna show it again. Look, where are they going with the ball? That's dumbass play calling. All right. So
I mean, like I told you before, I do believe Kevin O'Connell during the offseason need to work on his play calling because it's been watered down.
So they brought Oliver in motion, right? Now they're gonna run the ball, get nowhere, get stuffed, right? Get stuffed at that point, right? Boom. So now all 22 are gonna show it again. They're gonna show it again, right? They're gonna show it one more time, right? So you got Oliver winning motion to give you more on the other side. Boom. But look, nowhere. So now we're gonna have a third down play. You have a third down play right now. Look. So now you got multiple receivers in there. Look at that shit. Motion again. Motion Oliver back over there. Now you're going to motion. Look. Now you motion. Look. Where are you going with the ball?
You got a wide open man right there on underneath, though.
Yeah, he had no time.
Because the offensive line sucked.
But that's the play calling, though. That's play calling.
And I agree. But the thing is that you, as a quarterback, as an offensive line, you're told to protect your quarterback at least from 3 to 5 to 6 seconds.
Where is he supposed to go?
Right there. Who's right there by the 30-yard line at the
That's Oliver,
who
right?
was that?
That's Oliver.
Was that Oliver or was that
That's Oliver. But what I'm saying is though, look at all the extra shit. Look at all the extra shit.
right there. Look right there between the 20 and the 30. He was wide open.
But T, what I'm telling you though, peep that. They're taught to look down the field. The quarterback looking down the field. After the motion, boom, sack.
But that's why I said you get a veteran quarterback. That's what you see. You get a veteran quarterback that knows what he's doing.
Another chance though? Why should he get another chance with another quarterback?
What is a veteran quarterback going to do?
See the open man right there calling out?
Look. Boom.
Right there.
He can't go. He can't throw it. He can't throw it.
Again, what goes back to my point the first time. If your offensive line is sucking, your job as an offensive line, is to hold your defender up from 3 to 5 to 6 seconds.
We're gonna look at it one more time. I don't know why that shit keep going dark, but we're gonna look at it one more time. Motion.
Look at it. Right. They rush. How many? Wait a minute. How many people did they rush? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They rushed 7 people.
Couldn't get it out. Now we're gonna see it again. You're gonna see it again.
Yeah, they rushed all 7 people.
There's the motion. All right. Boom. Oliver's chipping again. He can't see Oliver because he's chipping. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's all that extra shit. So how can he see the tight end when the tight end had to chip? Look, back it up one more time so y'all can see it. So you're going to see the tight end. The tight end's going to motion back. All right. Hopefully going to boom. Watch it again. That's the second down, right? I want you to look at the tight end. That's the run play. Look at the third down play. Look, so you got multiple receivers down at the bottom. Oliver is the one that's going to motion inside. He motions inside, closer to the tackle, right? But look at what he has to do against Aiden Hutchinson. He's chipping, so he can't. There's no routes. You got him chipping when you shouldn't have had him go for a route, and he would have had the underneath. That's why he gets sacked. You're going to see it again. Look. Here you go again. He going to chip. Boom. Can't see it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Go back. That's Brian O'Neill who gave up that sack.
I ain't worried about giving up the sack. But what I'm saying, you can't see it. It's too much shit going on. You got multiple motions. You got 2 motions on one play. You got receivers going out on 15-yard routes. Even though when Naylor comes across the field, it's late. It's late. You're going to see Naylor flash right there. It's late. Nothing he can do.
But Brian O'Neill should have actually put a hand on somebody, though, because the fact that was a free shot, though.
That's play calling.
That's bad coaching on the offensive line, too, though.
That's play calling, man. That killed that whole drive. Let me see if I can fast forward it to when they get the ball back. Because it's gonna be the same shit over and over again. It's gonna be the exact same shit. We can keep blaming the offensive line, but that shit is play calling, man. That's play calling and play structure. Now, this is at the defense. We already know defense is nasty. They're gonna do their job. We know that, right, Zoe? I gotta admit when I'm wrong, man. I'm just gonna admit when I'm wrong.
And for a fact, like you said, it was third down. Anybody know that plays, if you play in man high school or college ball, when it's third down, you're gonna bring the house.
You bringing it. You bringing it. Defense. Let me see when they punt.
But again, as a job as an offensive lineman, where you outside the tackle, center, whatever, your job is to make sure your quarterback stay upright.
Let me try to bring them.
And if they're not keeping them upright, that means they're not doing their job.
Okay, we got the punt right here. We're just gonna let it play through. We're gonna let it play through. They got the punt. Vikings gonna get the ball. I don't know why they replay the punt back to back. That I don't get that. All right, so that's the punt. Let's see what they do on the first play of the game. On the second play, because I think this drive ended in a sack. In a sack too. I think they're gonna run the ball right here. Aaron Jones get like 2. All right, cool. It's going to show you a different angle. Yeah, Barber, you right. It's the play calling, man. It's the play calling. It's the play calling, play structure. It's just dumb. All right, so this is second down. What they do on second down? Motion, play action. Where you looking for it? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Nothing.
But that's on Max though. Max was holding on to the ball so long.
You tell me where he was gonna go with that ball. Look at the routes down the field. Look at the routes.
If you're a good quarterback and you see nothing's covered, throw the ball out of bounds. You live and fight another day.
Look at the routes. You can't throw it. You can't throw it right. I can't even do the pointer. You can't throw it by a 30 lightning arm because hey, he's covered. The other guy behind
somebody was open right. Look at the 30-yard lines. He's wide open.
Which one? It's 2 guys over there.
That's what I'm saying. So he could have thrown to either one of them, but he's holding on to the ball too long.
No, he's not. He can't throw it to.
Who is it on the 30? Because there's nobody close to him to catch that ball. So who was that right there?
That's an interception because there's a guy in between 2 players. There's a guy in between. So if he throws that ball where Brosmer is at, throwing that ball would get picked because the other guy's gonna jump that route. You can't throw it.
Who is right there on the 30 right there though?
Let me see who's that right there on the 30. Let me back it up one more time. All right, that's the run play. I'm gonna show the run play again. I wish I can bring the cursor up so I can show exactly like what I'm seeing. All right, now look, guys are covered. Boom, boom. Where you only got 2 routes out. Everything opened up after he started scrambling. There's nowhere for him to go. That's why we kept asking about quick game. Look, back it up. Boom. Here we go again. All right, play action. Boom. See, they're scrambling with him. He can't throw that ball nowhere. He can't throw it. That's play
I think he could have threw it. I think he could have threw it though.
What?
Because like I said, you have an unexperienced quarterback. This is his second official start.
You're talking about
he rolled out right there.
Wait, how can you throw? You can't throw it to none of these guys on this side because you got a guy in the middle right there. I think that's probably Jack Campbell. If you throw it to the guy closer, he gonna jump that route. If you throw it to either Addison right here, he got 2 guys behind him. They're gonna jump that route. That was a pick waiting to happen. But that's what I'm saying. It's the play calling. There's nowhere Brosman could have went. If you would have designed the play calling a little bit better, you could have probably had a guy in the flat. You could have had a guy somewhere to the sideline, but you had nowhere to go. You had
Like we all admit that the play calling this year has been trash. I said that before.
That's what it is.
It's been trash.
Because it's multiple routes down the field, and you don't have nothing underneath to help your quarterback on the outlet. There's nothing there. And if you're going to say you're going to throw the – that's what McCarthy was doing earlier. He was forcing the ball to these guys right here because they looked like they were open, but they had defenders behind them, and they just jumped the route and pick it off. Can't do that. There's no way for them to go. And that was on third down. That was two possessions back to back. Here we go again. Let's see what this one's going to be. Or maybe that was second down.
That was second.
So here we go again. There's another one. Wait, Jefferson got it. Okay, cool. Was a completion, but they went nowhere, and they got a punt now. Like, it's the play calling and play structure, man. That's why linemen are looking bad. And we can talk about it.
Wait a minute. Go back. You can go back to the one play just now, because I'm looking at it from a center standpoint. One of the defenders got in there untouched.
Oh shit! I don't went out. Oh shit! Hold on, y'all. Go ahead.
I just feel like with the play calling and a new offensive line, especially new offensive line coach, they need to do something.
I agree, but at the end of the
day, because you gotta remember the reason why JJ is getting hurt because the offensive line is letting him get hit too much. Like when he had the hairline fracture against the last game against the Giants, Brian O'Neill had to let that guy came in untouched, free shot, bam.
But I think it's more so like it's the play structure down the field. I think it's the play calling. I think the play calling needs to get a whole lot better. And if it doesn't, you're gonna always have that situation to where, hey, guys getting hurt and quarterbacks got to do a scramble thing, something like that, and you shouldn't have to. I just think you need to have guys win they one-on-ones, like especially for your receivers. You got two good receivers and you got a good tight end. Let them.
We had a good tight end. Tight end gonna be going after this year.
Let them operate. I mean, that's why I say I want to see what Ben Uberset got, but we don't know. We don't know, man. But dang, I've been going on 2 hours right here, man. I just wanted to show y'all that. Man, because that's what I be seeing when I be watching these games. I be like, okay, cool. Where there's nowhere for him to go. Why is this play called like this? But I think I'm gonna get up out of here. You got something you say when you want to say, T, before we get up out of here, man?
I just feel like it's the offensive line need to get better. I mean, we bringing these guys in, they can't stay healthy. So something need to change. What T-Bag was saying, as far as like draft. You got 10 picks. I would say draft at least 4 offensive linemen.
You don't have to
maybe one.
Anyway.
Right. You know what I mean? I would, at least for depth purposes, because it's always gonna be the next man up, no matter what kind of situation it is.
Yeah, I just feel like
if you can't do your job, then like I said, you gotta find somebody else to do theirs. So
I just feel like when we talking about the offensive line, we've been talking about the offensive line being a problem for the past 4 seasons. And they put a lot of money into the offensive line and a lot of draft capital into this offensive line. But the play calling and the play structure hasn't changed. So until you change the play calling and the play structure, the offensive line will continuously to look bad, regardless of who you put out there. That goes to the situation what I believe in any young quarterback playing in this offense. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't believe if it was Drake May, if it was Bo Nix, it was anybody that was drafted in the same draft with Jason McCarthy. They were going to look bad anyway. The play calling and the offensive structure with this team is not good. That's why I feel like in year 4, Kevin O'Connell's offense has been figured out to the point to where he can't have those erasers down the field to where Justin Jefferson just breaks coverage or Addison just breaks coverage and they just look good. Teams know where they want to go with the ball. They know all that double checks and those double moves and those motions. They don't care about that. They know you're not going to run the ball when they really need to, and they keying on these players, they putting the zone defense out there, and Kevin O'Connell cannot slice it up. It's not the quarterback. It's not the offensive line. The main problem is who's controlling this offense. Normally, I would get up here and I would be like, the defense needs to do this, defense do that. I can't say shit about the defense as of right now because the defense is playing well with less players. And I just feel this offense is one of the highest paid in the league, and they're not getting it done. And that falls on Kevin O'Connell because he is the offensive guy. That's just how I look at it, bro. This is how I look at it.
I agree. I mean, like I said, I agree with what you're saying, but like I said, from my perspective, if the offensive line can't do their job, your quarterback is going to be scrambling, going to be on his back the whole time.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think bringing in a Joe Burrow was going to fix that.
Hell no.
It's going to be the same shit. It's going okay. So hypothetically speaking, let's say this. Let's say Brian Flores does leave, right? Let's say Brian Flores leaves and goes somewhere else, wherever he goes. So let's say Flores is gone. You trade multiple draft picks, 2 firsts, couple of seconds, whatever you got to get for Joe Burrow, and you trade JJ McCarthy, and you trade, let's say, Jonathan Grenard or Van Ginkel, whatever you got to trade. You do whatever you got to do to get Joe Burrow. Brian Flores is gone. Isn't that the same shit he's dealing with right now? Because you don't know what this defense is going to look like without Brian Flores, so the defense might get worse. You already saying the offensive line isn't good. That's the same shit that Joe Burrow was dealing with right now in Cincinnati. A bad offensive line, 2 good receivers, an okay running game, and a bad defense. What's different? I'm asking, what's different? Because if we talking about next season, we don't know if Flores is going to be here. Now, if Flores is here, that defense might be a top 10 defense, maybe, but you don't even know that because you might have to trade guys just to acquire Burrow on this team. And you already know how Kevin O'Connell worked. He's willing to take from the defense before he take from his offense. He's not going to trade Darisaw to get Burrow. He ain't going to trade Addison to get Burrow. He's going to trade.
Oh, no, he's going to trade someone on the defense.
He's going to trade
someone on the defense.
So that's my thing of what I'm asking. It'd be the same shit that Joe Burrow was going against right now that with the Vikings. And just like you said, you explained it. You said that, Joe Burrow got tackled, and he got turf toe. Then you said, Joe Burrow, when he had the wrist injury, he got hit in the hand from a helmet. That's the same shit McCarthy dealing with. He got tackled, hurt his ankle. He got hit, hurt his wrist, hurt his throwing hand. So I'm just saying though, not one quarterback.
It's not yourself.
Not one quarterback, veteran quarterback, gonna come in here and fix what's really wrong with this team. Kevin O'Connell has to be the one to fix what's wrong with this team. And if they don't do that, we're gonna be sitting here talking about the same shit for the next couple of years until Kevin O'Connell actually fix what's going on with his offense. That's just how I look at it. For real.
I see your point, but also I just feel that with that veteran quarterback presence, McCarthy can be a better quarterback. He can learn behind a veteran quarterback. Because
McCarthy
think about it this year.
But if you trade Barrow, you're gonna
I think if they trade for Burrow, they're gonna keep McCarthy there, and then
they can't do that.
It's gonna be they can.
Nah,
because I would trade Burrow.
That's gonna be the first person they ask for. That's gonna be the first
thing for 2 first-round draft picks, 2 thirds, Jonathan Grenard, and another defensive player. You don't think they will take that?
They gonna want that quarterback.
They're gonna want a quarterback.
They're gonna have what 2 picks in the first round this year if they pull that off.
The first thing they're gonna say is, "Hey, we need JJ," and then add something with it with the draft picks, and that's what's gonna go. That's gonna be it's gonna be around JJ McCarthy because you gotta think though, McCarthy he got 3 years left on this deal with 2 plus the 5th year option. That's gonna allow them to get under the salary cap, have a quarterback under cost control for the next 3 seasons. They not going ain't no team trading the Vikings not going to ask for McCarthy. And that's just how it's going to go. Like that's to me it's like if you trade for Burrow, you already gave up on McCarthy. Like you gave
Burrow going to be here for what? For 3 years with that contract?
Yeah, like
His JJ contract is over. His rookie contract is done.
It's done. So it's kind of like, what you gonna do? Like
I mean, like I said, me personally, I'll pull the trigger. I mean, like I said, I will pull the trigger. You see what you got with JJ McCarthy. You know Joe Burrow is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
We don't know yet though. Joe Burrow.
Like I said, I went with.
Hold up. Joe Burrow is not a Super Bowl quarterback. He went to the Super Bowl once, and he's never been to the playoffs since.
Because they don't want him in the playoffs. Because they know for a fact if Joe Burrow's in the playoffs, he's going back to the Super Bowl.
No,
who don't want him in the playoffs?
How he hasn't.
A lot of AFC teams don't want him in the playoffs. At that time when Kansas City was hot, they didn't want Joe Burrow in the playoffs. They didn't want Cincinnati in their 7th seed.
Joe Burrow
playoff 3 years in a row,
and not did anything.
Exactly, he's been to the playoff 3 years in a row.
He's not done anything. He hasn't done anything.
Playoff 3 years in a row.
Like they saying, "Come to America." That boy good. That boy good.
Okay, look. I'm gonna say this. My top 3 quarterbacks in this league: Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. They go to the playoffs every year. They might not get the Super Bowl, but they win games. Joe Burrow is either hurt or first round exit. That's how it works.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. You said what 3 quarterbacks did you just say? You said who?
Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen,
okay,
and Lamar Jackson. Them the top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
And guess what? One of those quarterbacks went to the Super Bowl. One of those quarterbacks won the Super Bowl.
Bro, you talking about Super
2
Bowl?
of those quarterbacks.
That was 5-6 years ago.
But it's still, they ain't won nothing since. Unless you want to count individual awards as far as MVPs, yeah. Lamar's won 2. Josh has won a couple of them. But that's as far as you're gonna go.
But what is?
But that's as far as you're gonna go.
But what is?
Burrow got a Super Bowl appearance.
You don't get no trophy for that.
That's it.
You said what?
You don't get no trophy for that.
That's it, though. Go ahead. He been in 1 Super Bowl, and that's it. In the playoffs, he always.
How many Super Bowl? How many Super Bowl has Lamar Jackson been to?
He got 2 MVPs.
How many Josh Allen Super Bowls have he been to?
He got 1 MVP.
1 MVP. How many MVPs Joe B got?
No.
But how many Super Bowl appearances does he have? The Super Bowl is the main thing that people go for. I don't care about these individual awards.
So it don't matter.
He win no games.
Because he went against a better team. And guess what? Who was the team? Who was the team that he knocked out to get there? The Chiefs.
He beat Mahomes.
He beat Mahomes. He beat Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl.
Bro, that was 6 years ago.
Okay.
Because he's been hurt.
Let me ask you this though, right? Joe Burrow beat Pat Mahomes once, right? Once. Since that 1 Super Bowl, he lost to the Rams. He has never beat another team in the playoffs since then. He hasn't.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. How many Super Bowls has Lamar Jackson has won? Matter of fact, not even scratch that. How many Super Bowls has Lamar Jackson has won as it played in?
He hasn't, but he ain't. But Joe Burrow ain't better than Lamar Jackson.
Joe Burrow's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
No, he's not.
You ask anybody other than Zoe. You ask anybody other than Zoe that Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Joe Burrow is not playing better than Sam Darnold. Joe Burrow is not playing better than Jalen Hurts. Joe Burrow
I don't know about that one.
Joe Burrow has overrated. Okay, so you don't. Joe Burrow is not, to your logic. Joe Burrow is not better than Jalen Hurts when Jalen Hurts has 2 Super Bowl appearances and he actually beat Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl and he has a Super Bowl MVP. So that's your logic. You said Joe Burrow is better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson because he won the Super Bowl, but then he's not better than Jalen Hurts when he has a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP?
I'm gonna say this as far as from a talent standpoint, because you gotta remember it's a team game. It's 11-on-11 team game. But the quarterback makes a decision though. The quarterback makes it's a huge part of it.
But that was your logic. Your logic said Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen because he went to the Super Bowl. But you're saying Joe Burrow is you saying that Jalen Hurts is not better than Joe Burrow, but Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 1 Super Bowl MVP because he won it. How is he not better than Joe Burrow then?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let me ask both y'all this question. If you put Joe Burrow on any one of those teams, do they win the Super Bowl?
And Stafford has a Super Bowl.
Stafford has a Super Bowl, yes. But my thing is this. Like I just said, well, why do y'all want to go? If you put Joe Burrow on any of those teams, does they win the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow on that team?
Which team you talking about?
Either one of them, the Bills or Ravens.
No, because he'd probably be hurt.
I say no.
Lamar got hurt.
No,
Lamar got hurt.
I say no because Josh Allen got the best weapons compared to them.
Well, just go ahead. Up, my bad.
I say no because Joe Burrow got the best weapons compared to both of them.
Anybody else?
But he ain't got a defense though. Joe Burrow don't. Exactly. Lamar got a defense, but he ain't got an offense.
Lamar's defense is kind of one of the worst defenses in the league right now.
Right now, yeah, but I'm just saying for the last couple of years ago, it wasn't.
And so is Buffalo. Buffalo defense ain't that good like it used to be.
Exactly. We talked about that before. Anybody can beat Buffalo at this time. But at the same time, it's like
you know what? As a Ram fan, as of right now, I'll put Matthew Stafford over Joe Burrow too. Straight up.
I would. I mean, right now, yeah, I'll put Stafford ahead of Joe Burrow because Stafford is playing on the MVP level. I got that man on my fantasy team. He's about to win the championship this week.
Has Joe Burrow ever played at an MVP level?
He's been considered for MVP, yeah.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
When?
He's been the top 5 voters for MVP a couple times.
Who?
Against who? What year?
Who?
Let's see. But the year Lamar won.
I gotta get out of here though.
Yeah. All right, so.
All right, T.
All right,
bro.
What year?
I want to say it was the year Lamar. Yeah, he left. I want to say it's Lamar won his first MVP.
Okay.
That's what I want to say. I want to say when Lamar won his first MVP award, Joe Burrow was actually up for votes because I believe that was the year that Kirk Cousins was like the dark horse to win the MVP because the numbers.
I know Joe Burrow had one season where I think he had like 5,000 yards.
Right.
And he still didn't win MVP that year.
Right. Because Lamar got it because he was a rushing touchdown machine as far as getting these rushing touchdowns and
I think he
had like 3 picks.
The record too, like the record was horrible. Let me see what year that is.
Right.
Let me look it up. When Joe Burrow, last year Joe Burrow had 4,900 yards, 43 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So that was last season.
Mm-hmm. That was last season.
So you know who won MVP last year though? That's Josh Allen's MVP.
That's Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the record? What was the Bengals' record in 2024 though? They finished 5-10. No,
5-10. Yeah.
That can't be it. That's this
was that the year before?
No,
they 5-10 this year. I think last year that was when he messed his wrist up. I think.
Okay, so the Bengals finished last year 9-8. They finished 9. Yeah, they finished 9-8 that year, right? So let's just bring this up. Let's bring up the Bills record. Bills 2024 record. The Bills finished 13-4. All right.
Right.
So the Bills had a better record. And then Josh Allen. Let's look at Josh Allen's stats. Okay. Josh Allen's stats. Okay, Josh Allen threw for 3,700 rushing yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he had 531 rushing yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. That's why he got MVP, because of his record and because he did more for his team. Now Josh Allen did that with less from his receivers. Now, this is how we can always attribute like to Joe Burrow. Let's look up this real quick, and I'm gonna read it to you. What is Jamar Chase stats in 2024?
Oh, that's when he had the triple crown.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, exactly. My point exactly. Jamar Chase had 127 receptions, 1,700 yards, and 17 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Josh Allen didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
Because you can't rename a receiver on that team from last year other than Stephon Diggs.
So what I'm saying is, he didn't have Stephon Diggs last year. Diggs was playing.
I know.
Houston.
He was playing with Houston.
So what I'm saying is this, though, right? Josh Allen technically is playing with less, winning more games.
But he's also doing more too, though, because he's playing with less, but he's doing more.
Because he's a better quarterback than Joe Burrow.
I wouldn't say he's a better quarterback. He's a more athletic quarterback than Joe Burrow.
His stats show that he's a better quarterback. Joe Burrow threw for 4,900 yards, but Josh Allen threw for 37, and he ran on the ground for another 500.
That's what I'm saying, because he's a more athletic quarterback than Joe Burrow.
He's still doing more.
Because he's running the ball more, he's moving the ball more, and he's moving the first line mark as far as with his legs.
Yeah.
With Josh Allen, you don't know. With Josh Allen, you don't know what he's going to do as far as he's going to take off running or he actually going to stay in the pocket, because he's one of those big quarterbacks that you can't just wrap up and take down. You actually got to get a whole game for us to take him down, because of the fact that Joe Burrow is a bigger quarterback than Joe Burrow, and he's a more athletic quarterback than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a pocket passer quarterback, is a system quarterback. Josh Allen is not. Josh Allen is not a traditional quarterback. He can run, he can throw, he can make magic on his own. But Joe Burrow is a traditional quarterback as far as a stand-up pocket quarterback.
True, I give Burrow his credit, but
like I said, to me, Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in my opinion.
I don't think he fixes the Vikings though going forward. That's where we started at. But
it's not that he don't fix the Vikings. He fixed their system.
He could, but yeah, cool. And we're gonna have to continue this one next time, man. For real. Get out of here. All right, T man. Thank you for coming on. Everybody in the chat, thank you. It's much appreciated. Thank you for helping out the channel so much, y'all. Peace.